guys, my name is Jake, and today I wanted to take a look at the Dorohedoro 112 scale Caiman and Nikaido figures from Sentinel. Right off the bat, I want to say these guys have some great positives. I feel like they also have some pretty significant negatives, and I feel like that's kind of represented by the package as a whole. We have Caiman over here. He's articulated, fully articulated figure, multiple heads, multiple hands. Nikaido, she's a statue. So if you just want the articulated figure, if you wish that Nikaido was articulated, you can't get them separate, you have to get them together. If you're not a big fan of the statues, that's just a bummer. What I would say is that Nikaido is looking awesome over here. I think she has a great paint job. Look at like the painting, the detail on like the abs. I also like the difference between her matte sports bra and the bra underneath, which is glossy. Really great paint on the jacket, great sculpt as well. The shoes are looking really good, a mix of matte and glossy as well underneath. And while she's not articulated, she does come with an extra head that we'll show off later. So I think she looks really cool. It's just kind of a bummer because, like I said, she's out there, she's fighting, she's taking people down as well. It would be really awesome to have Caiman in some dynamic poses and to have Nikaido right along there with him. But with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at Caiman. Caiman is looking really good. He's got a really great wash on his head. Really great paint details on all the spines there. Really great paint kind of throughout the figure here. Some basic shading, especially in like the crotch area, the knee pads. Good paint detail, awesome silver detailing on the zippers and buckles on his shoes. Overall, just really, really great as far as appearance goes. Caiman's also pretty solid when it comes to articulation. You see that he has like these shoulders that look like they wouldn't really give him very much articulation or very much movement, especially in the up and down area. But there, if you're familiar with like Hellboy or any other similar types of figures with soft plastics, these are actually pretty soft and malleable. So you can get like basically a 90-degree angle on these shoulders. You just have to kind of lift the little lip here above his shoulder area. And so you can get some decent looking poses there. You also have a bicep swivel right here, both sides. Double jointed elbows look pretty decent. Double jointed. What I will say is that the hands here, you can see the gloves kind of cover up his wrist joint, and that's going to severely limit the articulation of his wrists. Kind of a bummer. I do like to really mess around with my character's wrists. It's something that I think like really makes a figure look impressive and good, is changing their wrist orientation whenever they're holding a knife or a gun or something like that. Caiman still looks pretty good because of the orientation of his gloves, but I do wish that I had a little bit more freedom in deciding how his gloves went or what direction they went. Let's see. Oh, shoot. Lost the knife there. Up. As far as the head, up, down, pretty decently. Oh, little ball joint popped out. Left and right is pretty good, but you'll see that he's got like this big ugly gap. His neck is always forward, so if you have him looking left or right, you're really going to have to hide that little gap right there. And that accounts for this head, but there's other heads as well that hide that a little bit better. But overall, it's one of the things that I'm a little bit unhappy about, is just seeing this big, shiny plastic green tube underneath his neck. The torso does not really go back very much. I mean, I guess it does. I guess it leans back at the waist. He has a chest, an ab crunch as well. That goes a little bit forward. Just enough to look down at somebody condescendingly, I would say. And then the waist here is actually pretty articulated. It goes pretty well left and right, back, 4th. Pretty solid waist articulation there, honestly. Which you're going to need for a character like Caiman, who's actually going to stand a little bit taller than your normal 1/12 scale figure, which is pretty normal. He's a big guy. Let's see. Thighs here. We got a thigh swivel, both sides. Legs go out pretty far. Almost doing the splits. Legs go decently forward, almost a 90-degree angle. Basically no backwards though, so don't expect Caiman to be doing some like bad kicks or anything like that. This is another gripe that I'm gonna have, and this is just like a problem with Sentinel in general. I feel like is they do knees and they do these big old chunky Edward Elric knees, and they are just awful looking. So this is one of the main issues that I have with the figure is if you put him in like a really dynamic, really cool, interesting pose, if his knees are bent, that is ugly. That is not a great knee joint at all. Like, he has really good motion, like pretty good for a double knee joint, but it's ugly from the back, and when you bend it, it's ugly from the front. The only time it looks really good is when it's flush like that, and there are figures that have double knee joints that do much better. I mean, look at Captain America back here. Not to shift focus away from Caiman and Nikaido too much, but take a look at Cap. Cap has a double knee joint. Cap also has like a little knee pad right here, and this has been something that companies have been doing for years, so I don't understand what the problem is. When his knee bends double at the joint, that kneecap kind of hides that little bit of ugly plastic, hides that joint a little bit, makes it look a little bit more natural. A solution like that on Caiman really could have made the front of his pants look a lot better. Kind of a bummer, but you know, you get what you get. Maybe someday Sentinel will update their knee designs. Boots also have like a little bit of a swivel in them. You can go left and right a bit too far and you start to stress the plastic. And I'm really impressed by like the actual part of the boots, because they go really far back and pretty far forward. It's about as far forward as my foot goes, so. And then a little bit to the side. Not much, but you can, I feel like you can pivot it a little bit. Oh, not a frame there. I feel like you can pivot to the left and right just a little bit. So overall, he's well articulated. You can definitely get some really cool poses off with him. It's just a matter of like, I don't know, some of that articulation is pretty ugly. That's a little bit of a bummer. But overall, I would say a pretty fantastic release. As far as accessories, we don't have like a ton in terms of accessories. We have a couple of extra heads for Caiman. That's going to be his infamous gas mask head. And this one's really cool because they actually took the time. I don't know if I can get it to focus here well enough that you can see, but oh yeah, they actually took the time to sculpt and paint the eyes underneath. So if you do like a really close shot, you can actually see his eyes underneath the gas mask. When you put this one on, articulation and everything is basically the same with this head. You still see that ugly thing underneath, but it looks pretty good on him. And then lastly, Caiman has an additional extra head. That's going to be this open mouth head, like he's about to bite somebody's head. So the dude inside can see if that's the one who cursed him. Oh. And you actually kind of have to, the way that this one has like a little bit of flesh that hangs down, it actually tucks into that ugly little joint there and hides it. And this one is not going to go up or down. It's not going to turn. It'll go left or right a little bit, but not very much. It'll tilt. You can tilt it left or right, but mainly this one is going to be for like biting people or I guess maybe you could do it for some other stuff. Maybe he sees some gyoza or something that he's like really interested in. No gyoza in this accessory set, unlike the 1/6 scale version, the original one. And then Nikaido has an extra head as well. You just pull her head off, and then you can put her gas mask on as well. So if you want to have them kitted out like they're about to go fight somebody with their gas masks on, smoke masks, you can do that. As far as other accessories, Caiman just has these knives that are on him. So he's got these two knives. You put them on there. You can pop the handles out. There's no knife inside. You can pop it out on the one on his waist as well. And then he comes with 2 full extra knives. So you can have these knives. You can put them in his hands. And then you can pop out the little handles whenever he's using them so that he doesn't just have like 4 knives coming out of nowhere, or 2 extra knives coming out of nowhere. The knives are nice. Pretty decent. Nothing to write home about. And then as far as hands, Caiman has the open loose hands that he's holding right now. Then he has a pair of gripping hands. Oh, shoot. A pair of gripping hands. And then a pair of open fists. Not open fists, just fists. And like I said, they all have the same kind of like wrist joint setup. So when you put them on, you're not going to get like an absolute ton of articulation there. You can see I put this hand on and put the knife. I'm going to have him holding the knife in a little bit of a reverse. But once it's in, I mean, it looks good, but you just don't have a lot of freedom with it, a lot of motion. But like I said, he is really articulated. You can really get him in some cool poses, like he's about to really take somebody down. Overall, pretty solid figure. I'm happy with it. I just really do wish that Nikaido had been offered as an articulated figure as well. I think she's a really cool character, and I kind of feel like she deserved it. I also think it would just, like I said, it would just be really cool to have them taking names together. But anyway, let's take a look at the size comparisons between these guys. You can see Caiman's pretty big. Nikaido's pretty average size for like a Figma or SH Figuarts. So let's go ahead. This is an SH Figuarts from Jujutsu Kaisen. This is a Figma from Laid Back Camp. She's a child, so I mean, they're both children, so there's probably a little bit smaller on the Figma scale. And then this is going to be Master Chief from 1000 Toys. And you can see he's pretty close to Caiman's height, which is going to be really great in this scale. I would say they're both probably around that 7-foot mark. And then, let's see. SH Figuarts, actually, let me do this. SH Figuarts, Captain America, he's probably a good 6 feet.
Just gonna pause here real quick to correct myself. I have no idea why I keep saying SH Figuarts Captain America. Definitely not Figuarts. This is the Mafex Captain America. Sorry about that.
And the SH Figuarts scale, or whatever, if you want to say that they have a scale. They're pretty loose, I think. And then here's another SH Figuarts. I just got him, so he's a little bit shorter than Cap. And then Mezco. I would say the scale works with almost all these guys. Normally, your Figuarts and your Figma are going to be like a little bit too small to fit in. But I would say that these two fit in pretty nicely in any scale. You can always argue that she's a little bit short and he's a little bit tall. So otherwise, that's going to be it. Hope you guys have a good day. And if you're interested in these guys, you can pick them up from AmiAmi for, I think, about $150. Anyway, have a good one.